Hello my dear students, welcome back. How was the quiz? It was awesome, wasn't it? I know you will do good. Okay, that's the key. Because why you did good? Because you pay attention what Mr. Mac was teaching, and then you did the hands-on practice, and then you compare your notes with Mr. Mac's doing on the board. And when you take the quiz, it becomes easy. Alright? Okay, good. You like that process? How we do that? We learn, and then you practice, and then you do on your own. Okay? That's what's the best way to do it. Okay, good. Now, in this sub-lesson, we're going to talk about proper and improper fractions. Okay? Now, what is proper fractions and what is improper fractions? Now, keep in mind, mathematics just like us. Can you imagine that if Mr. Mac to wear a shirt, like right now, this shirt right now, inside out, in other words, you have the tag hanging, you can see all the seam. When you look at it, you'll say, Mr. Mac, you didn't have your shirts on properly. See that? That shows improper. Even though Mr. Mac's still wearing a shirt. Am I right? Still covering up my body and wearing the shirt, but I didn't have it properly worn. See that? So that's kind of improper. Okay, so if I put right now, Mr. Mac dressed up properly, okay, tucked in, got a belt on it, and then got shoes on it, so I look smart. All right, okay, all right, just like you're beautiful, smart, okay, handsome. All right, just like that. Okay, you look proper. All right, same thing with mathematics. You got to express your final answer in a proper form. Okay, you can use the improper in your workings. So you use the improper fractions in your workings. So that's why you need to know how to find the improper, how to convert the proper fraction to improper fraction. I mean, mix numbers into improper fraction in order for you to be able to use it, because you're going to learn that. That's going to come handy. All right. Now let's talk about what is proper fraction and what is improper fractions. Okay. So let's talk about proper fraction first. Proper fraction, whenever I have, like say for example, 3/4. That's a proper fraction. Why is that? Because the numerator is less than the denominator. That's called proper. Okay. Now, even if I put 4 like this, it's a mixed number. See that? So it's a proper mixed number because 3/4. Now, improper fraction when I have, let's say for example, 6/5. Why is it improper? Look at it. Exactly. Very good. The numerator is greater than the denominator. When the fraction to be proper, it has to be always numerator less than the denominator. So what are we going to do? If something like this, that's what we're going to learn. How to convert an improper fraction to a proper fraction, and how to convert a proper mixed number, another mixed number, into an improper fraction. Alright? Okay, let's talk about first. Let's first understand the proper fraction. Okay? Let's say for example, if I was 6/9. This is a proper fraction, but it's not reduced, not simplified. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to divide this by 3, divide this by 3. Okay, so you want to find a common number that 6 and 9 can be divided by. In this case, I take 3 and 3. So 6 divided by 3 is 2, 9 divided by 3 is 3. Now there you go. That should be a final answer in a proper fraction. Okay, good. So now let's say for example, in this case you got 6/5, and I want to express that in a form of proper. In other words, in this case it will be a mixed number. Why is that? Now look at this. This is pretty much what it is. 5/5 plus 1/5. See that? Because that's a one whole pizza. So pretty much this is what it is. If I have a pizza that has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? See that? That means I'm breaking a pizza into 5 parts. That's what the denominator is saying. So in this case, you only got 5, so I need one more. So I have another pizza. Okay? Also will have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So first we count 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to cover all this, and then 1 from this. So that makes it 6/5. See that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the 5 is the fraction of the one pizza. But that's not the proper way to express it. The proper way is right there. 5/5 plus 1/5, which is 1/5. See, this is 1. See that? 1. And what is this one? How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And How many shaded? 1. That makes it 1 over 5. And that's what this is. 1 over 5. See that? Then you ask him, Mr. Mac, am I going to do all the time, draw like this and then come up with that? No, I'm going to show you how to find that. But I just want you to understand what this 6 over 5 stands for. And how do I break this into this format? In a form of picture. Able to understand how this get to 1 over 5. Okay? So now let's take that 6 over 5. Okay? So 6 over 5. And I want you to remember this. I want to use the arrow down method. Arrow down method. Okay? Keep this word, arrow down method. What is arrow down method? We're going to read the 6 over 5 exactly it says, but in a different form. 6, what is this one? Over. Over is actually divide. 5. That's how I translate. I translate 6 over 5 into this format by using the arrow down method. Okay, so now I use the long division method. Okay, so when I say the word long division, I'm going to introduce another thing, which is what? The cage approach. Okay, we're going to put the cage. We're going to put the cage, alright, which is the long division sign. I'm going to call that cage. Alright, look at that. 6 is kind of into Mr. Mac. In. I'm going to put inside the cage. Alright, that's why I'm using the word into Mr. Mac. 5 is kind of out from Mr. Mac. See that? I'm standing right there. It's kind of away from it. 6 is kind of in. 5 is kind of out. See that? I'm going to put outside the cage. I translate that into this format. Once I do that, now I'm going to divide. I'm going to find 6. That's how many? 5. 1. 1 times 5? 5. Minus 6 minus 5 is 1. That's the balance. So you take that 1. That's the round 1. 1. That's the round number 1. Okay? Which is the whole number. I should say whole number 1. This 1 balance you put on as a numerator. The divide is the denominator. 1 over 5. That goes right there, and this one goes right there, and that one comes right there. Okay, let's do another one. Okay, let's say for example, if I give you, let's say 12 over 5. Is this a proper fraction or improper fraction? Very good, it's an improper. Why? Because the numerator is greater than the denominator. So we can't have that, am I right? Okay, so this makes it improper. So what do we have to do? Change it to proper. So how are we going to do that? Using the, very good, arrow down method. Okay, so we're going to use the arrow down method. And we're going to read exactly the same. We're going to translate that in a form of 12 divide 5. See that? So we're going to use the long division method. Okay, so when I see with the long division, we're going to use the cage approach. 12 is kind of into Mr. Mac. I'm going to put inside the cage. 5 is kind of out from Mr. Mac. I'm going to put outside the cage. In 12, there's how many 5? 2, because 2 is the most that 5 can fit inside 12, because that makes it 10. 2 times 5 is 10. 12 minus 10 is 2. That's the balance. This is the whole number. Okay, that means there's a 2 5, there are 2 5 inside 12. See that? That means 2. So it means 2, okay, 2, and the balance is what? 2 would be the numerator over 5, the denominator. See that? Okay, so we're changing the improper fraction into proper fraction. In this case, a mixed number. Alright? Okay? Let's do another one. Okay, let's do another one. Let's say, for example, if I give you, let's say 7 over 2. Okay, 7 over 2. And is this a proper, improper? Very good. Pretty easy, isn't it? Right away you see it, you can know. Improper. Okay? So once you get used, just like this. When you see someone with the, wear their shirt inside out, with the tag sticking out, right away you can tell, uh-oh, they're not wearing their shirt right. Right? It's not like you got to be really look at it. Right away you can feel it. See, that's the same thing you should feel with the mathematics. The moment you look at the number, the moment you see this one, you should tell right away, oh, it's improper fraction. See that? Okay? That's why I want to train you such a way that the moment you look at something, you know, when you come up with an answer, you thought that would be a final answer, but right away I want you to feel it. Oh, that's not proper. There must be something I need to get it down. Like for example, reduce it down like this one. When you say 6 over 9, should feel like, oh, something's not right. Because why? You didn't reduce it down to 2 over 3. That's what it is. Okay, the same thing. The moment you say 7 over 2, you should feel it. Oh, something's not right. Because why? It's improper fraction. Alright? Okay. So that means what we're going to do? We're going to use the arrow down. We're going to use the arrow down method. Okay? We're going to read exactly what it says. What does it say? 7 divide 2. Okay? Then we're going to translate that into a cage approach. Okay? So we're going to put the cage. 7 is kind of into Mr. Mac. I'm going to put inside the cage. 2 is kind of out from Mr. Mac. I'm going to put outside the cage. Alright? In 7 there's how many 2? 3. Very good. 3 times 2 is 6. Minus 7 minus 6 is 1. This is the balance from the 7. So the 3 is the round number. That means 3. Balance 1 will be the numerator. And the fraction is the 2. The divider. See that? That's it right there. Turn into a mixed number. Pretty easy, isn't it? Okay, very straightforward. Okay, keep in mind. Alright? Okay, so very straightforward. Let's do one more. Okay, let's say for example, if I give you, let's say 25 over 7. Is this proper, improper? I didn't have to ask that. You already said, Mr. Zach, that's improper. I know. Alright, good job. Okay, good. So we're going to use the arrow down method. And then we're going to use the cage approach. Exactly. So we're going to put the cage. Oh, Mr. Mac, I'm rushing. I'm supposed to translate that into a... Exactly. 25 divided by 7. I heard that. You're screaming, Mr. Mac, you're rushing to the cage approach. You got to do this first. Translate that into division. Okay. 25 over divide 7. Okay. So 25 is kind of into Mr. Mac. I'm going to put inside the cage. And the 7 is kind of out from Mr. Mac. I'm going to put outside the cage. In 25, there's how many 7? Very good. There are 3, okay? Because 3 times 7 is 21. So 5 minus 1 is 4. 2 minus 2 is 0. So that's the balance. See that? That's the balance, okay? That's the round number, okay? Okay, the whole number. So that means this makes 3. 4 is your numerator. The balance is the numerator. 4 over 7 is your denominator, which is this right there. You just carry that right there. That's it. Pretty easy, isn't it? Alright, good. Well, Mr. Mac's going to erase it. This time we'll go from improper fraction into well, we just did that. This time we'll go from proper fraction into improper. How to convert a proper fraction into improper. Alright, let Mr. Mac erase that, and we'll learn how to do the proper fraction into improper, or in other words, mixed number into improper fraction. And I'll be back with you in a few seconds. Alright, my dear students, let's review. We know how to identify improper fraction. We also know how to identify a proper mixed number with a proper fraction. Okay, so and also how to reduce those fraction if if it's reducible, all that. Okay, we learn how to convert an improper fraction into a mixed number. All right, so now we're going to talk about how to change a mixed number into a improper fraction. All right, so let's put it out first. Let's say for example I got 3 over 4. Now this is a proper mixed number. Because why we call this mixed number? Because you have a round number, a whole number, and a fraction. When you have a whole number and a fraction, you call that mixed number. Alright? So in order to change this to improper fraction. Now what is improper fraction? When you have the numerator greater. Okay? So greater than the denominator. So when the numerator is greater than the denominator, that makes it improper fraction. Okay, so how do we do that? We're going to use this method called semi-rotation method. Okay, semi-rotation, that means like this. Alright, semi-rotation. You multiply first and then you add next. In that rotation, the first part of the rotation, alright, you're going to multiply. Second part of the rotation, you're going to add. What does that mean? 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. See that? 11 over 4. You always maintain the same denominator. Denominator never ever change. When you change a mixed number into an improper fraction, the numerator changes, but denominator never ever changes. Alright? Keep in mind, okay? See that? This is called semi-rotation method. Okay? Semi-rotation method. We're going to use this method to convert a mixed number into an improper fraction. Let's do another one. Let's say, for example, I got 5, 2 over 7. And what method we're going to use? Semi-rotation method. Okay? So we're going to put the semi-rotation. First, we're going to do what? Multiply. And then we're going to be add. Keep in mind, multiplication, addition. 7 times 5 is 35. Plus 2, 37. 37 over 7. Right there. That's improper fraction. Okay? Now what about if I give you a round whole number like this, 2, and ask you to express that in the form of improper fraction? Very easy. Right there. 2 over 1. Exactly. That's it. That's a fraction. 2 over 1. See that? Of course, you can also express that in a form of, if I multiply this 2 and 2, what? 4 over 2. Same thing. 4 divided by 2 is what? Back to 2. We started with a 2. See that? Oh, I can even multiply any number as long as what? The numerator and denominator is times with the same number. See that? If I put 2 over 1, I can multiply this with 5 and multiply this with 5. 2 times 5 is 10. 1 times 5 is 5. See? 10 over 5. That's the improper fraction. 10 divided by 5. I used the arrow down method. What does that mean? 10 divide 5. Which is what? 2. Back to that. See that? So a whole number, you want to express that in a form of fraction. Put over 1. Anything. Let's say, for example, 100 over 1. That's an improper fraction. 35 over 1. 9 over 1. That's it. To express that in the form of fraction. If you want to change the value, just multiply the same number for the numerator and the denominator. Okay, for example, 9 over 1. If you want to times it 3, make sure you times this by 3 also. Very important, okay? That makes it 27 over 3. Actually, 27 over 3 is 9. How is that? Arrow down method. 27 divide 3. 27 divided by 3 is 9. Pretty easy, isn't it? Very easy, okay? So keep in mind. So let's go back again with the mixed number, changing that to improper fraction. Let's say, for example, if I were to give you 6, 5 over 8. What method do I use? Right there. Very good, isn't it? Isn't it pretty cool, isn't it? It is cool. Just use a semi-rotation. Make sure you remember that. Multiplication comes first. Addition comes next. Alright? So 8 times 6 is? Very good. 48. Plus 5 is? 53. Over 8. Make sure you maintain that 8. Same denominator. Alright? The denominator never changes. Okay? Now let me tell you something. Whenever you have let's say, for example, the whole number we're talking about, 3, okay? I want to express that in a form of fraction, which is 3 over 1. Remember I was telling you, you can multiply here and multiply that, or you can even, earlier we can't talk about divide. You only can do multiply with the numerator and denominator, or divide with the numerator and denominator. We cannot add or subtract, okay? You cannot. You say, well, if let's say, for example, I got 16 over, let's say 24. Okay, in this case, what am I going to do? I'm going to divide this by 4, divide this by 4. I'm reducing it down. See that? That makes it this one, 4 over, very good, 6. Okay, now again I can do more. I can divide 2 now. Okay, divide 2 gives me 2 over 3. That's my final answer. Okay, or another way, I could have started here, right here, dividing it both by 8. 16 divided by 8 is 2. 24 divided by 8 is 3. Right there. Okay? So you can do broken up, or you can go, if you know the number, the biggest, the highest common number that 16 and 24 can divide it by, there you go, you'll get that answer right away. Now let's say for example, if I have a 2 over 3, I want to expand this. I can multiply this by 4 and I have to multiply this by 4. So that makes it 8 over 12. See that? Now what about if I say 16 over 24? I want to minus this by 6, minus this by 6. 10 over 18. Can I do that? No, I cannot do that. Or 2 over 3, I want to add here 10, add here 10, make it 12 over 13. Can I do that? No, you cannot do that. Keep in mind, okay? You cannot subtract, you cannot add. But you can divide or multiply. As long you do it with the numerator and the denominator. Numerator and the denominator, the same number. But you cannot subtract or add with the numerator and denominator. Okay? Keep that in mind. Never, never. Okay? This two cannot be applied. Only this. Alright? Okay, keep in mind. Okay, good. So, there you go. Here it is. The proper and improper fraction. Alright? Okay, so guess what? It's going to be hands-on practice. Okay, good. Give me a few seconds. We'll let Pablo work on the worksheet and then we'll call him out and you have fun with it. Okay? Okay, give me a few seconds. I'll be back with you. Alright, my dear students, are you ready? Are you ready to take some hands-on practice? Alright, let's call Pablo. Okay, Pablo, come on over, come on over. Yes. Alright, my dear students, Pablo got the hands-on practice worksheet and he's going to pass it to you. And guess what? Have fun, alright? And then invite me back in. Don't forget to pause the video, okay? Take your time. Here it is. Oh, good. Well, let's see. Wow, he got 4 questions, all right? Okay, let's do it. All right, let's do it together. The first one, it says, change the following whole numbers into improper fractions, all right? So we're given question 1a. The question 1a, they gave us 7, all right? And they want to express that as improper fraction. No, right there, 7 over 1, right there. Or you can even multiply with any numbers you want. And also you can put it like 14 over 2. See that? So you can express as long 7 over 1. See, 7 divided by 1 is 7. 14 divided by 2 is 7. As long as it gets to 7. See that? Or you can even put 7 over 1 times it with 3 times it with 3 gives you 21 over 3. As long you multiply the numerator and the denominator with the same number. Okay, once you put in 7 over 1. But you can just leave it 7 over 1 as an improper fraction as well. Now let's say for example, if they were to give you a multiply choice, if I go to A, B and C and told you, let's say for example, 22 over 7, let's say 21 over 3, and then let's say 5 over 2. How do you do that? Well, look at that. 7 over 1, okay? And you want to see what multiply will give you the close, that will give it to that one. So you get 7 over 1. So we want to see what multiply. Now look at this. If I multiply 7, now look at the denominator 3. Use this denominator as a way to guide you, okay? So 1 times 7 gives me 7. If I times here by 7, I have to times that with 7 also. So 7 times 7 should be 49. So this is not. Okay. 1 times 3 gives me 3. Okay. That means if I multiply this by 3, I also have to multiply this by 3. So 7 times 3 is 21. Right there. So this should be your answer. See that? So that's a way of doing it. You just try, you try it by using the denominator as your reference. Okay, that'll be much easier because you see 1, so it's easier to go 1 times 3, which is 3, rather than trying to figure out 7 into 21. Okay, good. Okay, let's look at problem number B. Now B, you're given 12, which is what? 12 over 1. If you want to be more fancier, you can just multiply it by 3 or 2 or 5, as long you multiply the numerator and the denominator. So 12 times 3 is 36, 1 times 3 is 3, right there. Okay, now again, if I were to give you a multiply choice, I do A, B, C, and I told you first one is 24 over, let's say 4, and then I said let's see, 120 over 10, and then I told you 36 over let's say 12. Okay, so let's see, this one is 12 over 1. What times 1 gives me 4? 1 times 4. If I multiply this by 4, I have to multiply that by 4. 12 times 4 is what? 48. This one gives 24. So it can't be. Let's look at the second one. 1 times what gives me 10? 1 times 10. So if I times 1 by 10, I have to times 12 also by 10. So 12 times 10 is 120. Right there. See that? Now look at that. 1 times what gives me 12? 12, isn't it? 12 times 1 is 12. That means I'm going to times 12 by 12. 12 times 12 is 144. This one give me 36. So not this one, not that one. So that one right there. See that? Just give you an example, okay? If it's a multiply choice, they give you, rather than, they know this is pretty easy, 12 over 1, but they give you something expanded. Expanded equivalent improper fraction to 12. Okay? So then you can use this approach of finding the answer. Alright? Okay, good. Now let's look at C. C, you're given 24, which is 24 over 1. Okay, keep in mind. And you can expand further by multiplying it 2 with the numerator and 2 with the denominator, or 3 or 4 or 5 and so forth. See that? And you're just expanding it, make it look bigger. But the key thing is, the final is, after you divide, it should get back to 24. Alright? Okay, good. Alright, now let's look at problem number 2. Change the following mixed number into improper fraction. Okay, so number 2. 2a, you're given 2 over 3. And they want us to change that from mixed numbers into improper fraction. So what method are we going to use? Very good. Semi-rotation method. Semi-rotation method. See that? And we're going to start with multiplication and then addition. So we're going to multiply. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11. Very good. So it'll be 11 over 3. You maintain the denominator. Okay. So 3 times 3 is 9. 9 plus 2 is 11. Okay. And that's your improper fraction. Okay. Let's look at B. So B, you're given 4 over 5. Okay, again, what method we're going to use? Semi-rotation. Okay, so we're going to multiply first and then we're going to add, right? So 5 times 5 is 25, plus 4 is 29. 29 over, maintain the same denominator, which is 5. 29 over 5. Very good. And then for C, and C, you're given 10, 5 over 9. And again, we're going to use the semi-rotation, okay? Very important. Multiplication first and then addition after that. So 9 times 10 is 90. 90 plus 5 is 95. Over, very good, 9. You maintain the same denominator. Alright, good. Now let Mr. Mac erase the board and then we'll do problem number 3 and I'll be back with you. Alright. Okay, problem number 3, okay? Change the following improper fractions into mixed number, okay? Now this time we're going to reverse it. Earlier, the problem number 2, we did the mixed numbers into improper fraction. This time we're given improper fraction. Problem 3a, we're given 22 over 6. And we want to convert that, or we're going to change that into proper fraction, which is mixed numbers, alright? So what do? We use the arrow down method, okay? Arrow down method, and translate that into a division form. 22 divided by 6. We're going to read it exactly. The arrow down method is actually reading exactly what it says. 22, this overline becomes division 6. Alright, and then we're going to transform this into a long division method, okay? So that's why we're going to use the cage approach. This is the cage approach. It's long division actually. I'm just giving a name for it, okay? So 22 is kind of into Mr. Mac. I'm going to put inside the cage. 6 is kind of out from Mr. Mac. I'm going to put outside the cage. Very important to translate that into this form. Okay, once you've done that, ask yourself, in first digit, which is 2, how many 6? None. You go to the next one. 22 is how many 6? The closest I can get, 6 can get inside 22 is how many times? Very good, 3 times, because 3 times 6 is 18. You subtract, so 22 minus 18, very good, which is 4. Alright, that's the balance. Okay, so what do you do now? You take 6, so 4. Okay, so that's your final balance. Okay, now you don't want to go any further, you want to stop right there. Then what do you do? This is your whole number, so which is 3. Okay, and this is your balance, which is your numerator. Okay, 4 over 6. Now look at this. This one you can still reduce it further. 4 over 6. You can divide this by 2, you can divide this by 2. So you don't want to leave the answer this way. So you want to write down further down 2, so reduce down to 3, 2 over 3, right there. That should be your final answer. Very important, because this looks proper. Alright? Okay, so this is a mixed number. Okay, mixed number. Let's look at B. So B, you're given 35 over 7. Again, this is an improper fraction. Why is it improper? Why is it this is called improper? Because the numerator, see, greater than the denominator. You cannot have that. Alright? So now, what we're going to do, we're going to use the arrow down method. I'm going to translate that into a division format. 35 divide 7. 35 divided by 7 is what? 5. We know that from our timetable. So we don't have to use a long division. And there is no balance right there. Okay? So in this case, it's just a whole number, 5. There's no fraction involved in this one. There's no balance. Alright? And that's your final answer. Okay, let's look at C. C, you're given 47 over 5. Again, this is an improper fraction. So we're going to use the arrow down method. And we're going to transform them in form of division. 47 divided by 5. 47 divide 5. Okay, and we're going to use the long division method, okay, which means we're going to use the cage approach. 47 is kind of into Mr. Mac, I'm going to put inside the cage. 5 is kind of out, I'll put outside the cage. 4, you can't go to the next digit. 47. 47 is how many? 5. From our timetable, from 5 timetable, what has closest to 47? 45, which is what? 9 times 5. Exactly, 9 times 5 gives you 45. Okay, so 7 minus 5 is 2, 4 minus 4 is 0. So that's your balance. Okay, so that means, what does that mean? That's your whole number, 9, and that's your denominator. Okay, so because remember, you always maintain your denominator, and that's your balance is your numerator. So it becomes 9, 2 over 5. Very important, the balance, alright, goes on as a numerator. 5 is the one dividing, see that? See right there? Which is this. So you bring that down there. Okay, so you use that as a guide. Okay, you know this for 5, which is the 5 right there, goes underneath. The 2 is the balance, goes up, and that's the round number, which is the 9 right there. Okay, alright, let's look at D. So D, you're given 128 over 11. Alright, so what method are we going to use? Again, arrow down method. Okay, arrow down method, that means 128 divided by 11. Okay, so we're going to use the long division method. So I'm going to put the cage approach. 128 is kind of into Mr. Mac, I'm going to put it inside the cage, and 11 is kind of out, I'll put outside the cage. In 12, there's how many 11? 1. 1 times 11 is 11, minus 2 minus 1 is 1, 1 minus 1 is 0. I'm going to bring 8 down. In 18, there's how many 11? 1 also, because 1 times 11 is 11, 8 minus 1 is 7, 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay, so that's your balance. Alright, that means what? The 11 is your whole number, and this is your dividing, which is your denominator. Okay, so that's your denominator. Put the 11, 7 goes as your balance. That's it. Okay, if you forget how to set them up, always remember this is your round number because you divide it. That means there is 11 inside 128. See, that means 11 right there. That the 11 is there. See, this is your denominator. That should be a reference. You always maintain your denominator. So that means the 7 of the one is going to be your numerator. Okay, you got it? Good job. I'm proud of you. Okay, good. Now let's look at problem number 4. True or false? Okay, 4a. 4 over 3 equals to 20 over 15. See that? Now this both are improper because why? The numerator is greater than the denominator. The numerator is greater than the denominator. But we're dealing with the equivalent improper fraction. Okay, equivalent. All right. So now look at that. How did I get from 4 to 20? By multiplying it by what? By 5. Exactly. If I multiply this by 5, I have to multiply this by 5 also. So 3 times 5 is 15. That means this is true. So this is true. Alright? Okay? Now, you can either start with this one. Same thing too. What times 3 gives you 15? 5. Then you multiply the top also by 5, gives you 20. See that? You can do either one. Whichever you find it easier. Let's look at B. Okay, that's the best way to do. Always look for the easiest one. 8 over 3 equals to 48 over 18. Look at the smaller one. Much easier. What times 3 gives you 18? 3 times 6. Alright, I'm timesing this by 6. 3 times 6 is 18. If I multiply the denominator by 6, I have to multiply the numerator by 6. 8 times 6 is 48. So this is also true. So they both are same. Alright, it's just that this is more expanded version of the improper fraction. Alright, let's look at C. Now C are given 9 over 5 equals to 70 over 35. Okay, so let's look at the smaller one. 5 times what gives me 35? 7. Alright, 7 times 5 is 35. Now that means I'm going to times 9 with 7 also. 9 times 7 is 63, but I got 70 there. That means this is not equal. So that's false. Okay, that's a false. See that? See how timetable comes so much handy? That's why Mr. Mac always tells you, don't underestimate the power of timetable. That's the basic of your mathematics, alright? The basic mathematics. A part of the basic is knowing your timetable, alright? Now, if you're struggling right now, not good. It's not good. I know you're not, because you are score A Math with 3 student. Because score A Math with 3 student always on the top. They're always prepared. They always be alert. They're always the best. And you are. And you are the best. And I know you know your timetable, and you've been working hard, and you're doing well, and you're doing your hands-on practice, and you got all this good, right? All right? Good job. I'm proud of you. And I know you're the best. And you always deserve the best. That's why Mr. Max here, to bring only the best for you. And it's coming from the best. Alright, my dear students, here's Pablo, and he's already telling us time for quiz. Go ahead, have fun with the quiz, and then come back and see Mr. Mac on the next lesson, next sub lesson. We're going to talk about addition and subtraction. Wow, it's going to be so much fun adding and subtracting using fractions. Alright? Okay, I'll see you soon. Have fun with the quiz. Bye-bye.